And now I would like to welcome Mr. James Bezan, the Member of Parliament from Selkirk-Interlake, to bring greetings from His Majesty's, I'm still getting used to that, His Majesty's Loyal Opposition.
Добрий день, привіт, вітаємо to Manitoba. I'm honored to be able to bring greetings today on behalf of our leader, Pierre Poilievre, and he wished he could be here, but his schedule just, we couldn't change it to get him here. But Prime Minister Trudeau, thank you for your announcements this morning. Appreciate it very much. Premier Heather Stefanson, it's always great to see you. To Mayor-elect Scott Gillingham, my buddy, congratulations, well deserved. Ministers Anand, Vandell, Smith, colleagues from the House of Commons, colleagues from the Manitoba Legislative Assembly, Your Excellencies, Reverend clergy, and of course all of the delegates here at the UCC Convention. Pierre wished to pass on the following, and then I'll give some remarks at the end. It is with great honor to offer greetings to the Ukrainian Canadian Congress as you participate in this 27th Triennial Congress. I welcome all participants, and I also wish to thank you for your presence here. We are at a pivotal moment in Ukrainian and indeed world history, as Ukrainian historically resists tyranny and oppression. Your participation in this Congress is a testament to the strength and vitality of the Ukrainian people. As this gathering takes place here in Canada, our hearts are with Ukraine. As Putin wages his brutal war on Ukraine's sovereign territory, Vladimir Putin must be held accountable for the war crimes and genocidal atrocities he has committed against the freedom-loving people of Ukraine. I note that the theme for the Congress this year is Stronger Together. A fitting theme. I could not agree more. My Conservative team stands in total solidarity with Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. We must take real action to make sure Ukrainians are able to defend themselves, their country, and their democracy. Conservatives have asked to send more assistance and are ready to work with the government to deliver these much-needed measures to reinforce Ukrainians as they fight for their freedom. Standing together, we are stronger, and we stand together with you and with Ukraine. Ukraine's fight against Putin's tyranny is important in the global fight for freedom, but is especially important for Canada given the incredible contributions Ukrainian Canadians have made to our country and continue to make. For over a century, Ukrainians have been immigrating to Canada and offering their skills and talents to make our country stronger. In our rich and diverse nation, Ukrainian Canadians are an important part of the Canadian tapestry. We share not just a home, we share common values too. Putin's war and aggression against Ukraine horrifies and angers me, but Ukraine's bravery and valor in defense of freedom and democracy inspires all of us. Please accept my best wishes as you gather to make key decisions and elect leaders that will guide you through the next few years. Conservatives are committed to working with UCC, its leadership, and indeed all Ukrainians as we work together to meet the challenges ahead here at home and in Ukraine. And that's from Pierre Poilievre. Just to build on that, since I've been a very vocal supporter of Ukraine and a strongest adversary to Vladimir Putin, I can say that we are here to support the government to do more. You'll never hear Conservatives get up in the House and say, you know, you've done too much. We'll never say that when it comes to Ukraine. We're always going to say we can and must do more. So we know when we talk to our friends in Ukraine, when I meet with the ambassador, when we meet with parliamentarians that come here, their number one ask is we need more military equipment. And, you know, we started asking for lethal aid for Ukraine back in 2018 as the official opposition. And so we welcome all the kit that we've been able to get to the Ukrainian military. But we know that we also have a lot of light armored vehicles. We've already sent 39 new ones. We do have a number that are going to be decommissioned over the upcoming months and years that we could also donate to help Ukraine. If you watch the liberation of Kharkiv, Ukrainian soldiers were moving in tracked light armored vehicles, armored personnel carriers called M113s. Canada has a couple of hundred that are about to be decommissioned. We should, Minister Nan, Prime Minister Trudeau, donate them. Because we saw that the used M113 track labs that were donated by the United States and Australia have made a difference, and I know that Canada can make that difference as well. We have right here in Winnipeg a number of different manufacturers of defense technologies, including PGW Defense, who build sniper rifles. So I've already sent sniper rifles to Ukraine, and I know that they're prepared to build more and send more with the help of Canada. We have Peerless Garments here that have built uniforms and winter kit for our Canadian Armed Forces, and we could also enlist them to help to build winter uniforms for the Ukrainian military. But you know, as we move forward, we also have to think about here at home that with all this escalation, with Putin and his war machine in Ukraine, his destabilizing of Eastern Europe, of what's playing out today in Beijing with the communist dictatorship there being further and further entrenched and raising challenges for Taiwan, as well as stomping out democracy in Hong Kong. We have to move on to a war footing, unfortunately. And that means that we also have to keep investing in the Canadian Armed Forces, find the personnel to make up some of the challenges that we're having right now in recruitment. And we have to put our defense industry complex back and in the forefront and making sure that we can meet the challenges ahead, which are continuing to escalate. You know, the only way what's happening with Putin's war machine in Ukraine, the only way that this ends well is Ukraine must win. The only way that we restore peace in Europe and around the world is Ukraine must win. So again, that's why we're all here, standing together, stronger together. I have to thank each and every one of you. You are Ukrainian patriots. You're proud Canadians, and you are leaders. You have taken up the call to help those that are in need. You have opened up your home to Ukrainian refugees. You have opened up your business to hire some of those Ukrainians who have come to Canada so that they can sustain themselves and their families who are still fighting back at home. And I know that as we move forward, that we will continue to work together so that ultimately we restore peace in Ukraine, but we will not rest until every square inch of Ukraine is liberated. Let's never forget that Donetsk is Ukraine. Luhansk is Ukraine. Zaporizhzhia is Ukraine. Kherson is Ukraine. And Crimea is Ukraine. Slava Ukraini. Thank you. God bless Canada.
Thank you, James. I know you've been a friend of Ukraine for many years. From the day I first met you in the lobby of the President Hotel on one of Canada's first election observer missions to Ukraine. And now I would like to call upon the Premier of this lovely province and to bring greetings, and we thank you, Premier, for allowing us to host our conference here in your beautiful province of Manitoba.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Bataimo. Prime Minister, welcome back to Manitoba. Minister Anand, welcome to Manitoba. Mr. Vandal, MP Bezan, as well as other MPs who are here with us today. I was joined a little earlier by a couple of my colleagues, Minister of Education, Wayne Owasko, who's a proud Ukrainian Canadian, as well as our Minister of Sport, Culture and Heritage, who was here as well with us. They had to go back and cover off question period for me today. But I know we stand united as a cabinet, as a caucus, and certainly with all Manitobans, we stand united with with Ukraine. So welcome to Winnipeg and welcome to Manitoba for all of you. It's an honor to be with you as you kick off your 27th Triennial Congress right here in our beautiful province of Manitoba, a province that is has deep cultural connections to Ukraine and historic and ongoing bonds with its people. At the outset, I'd like to send a special thank you to you, Alexandra and Anne, for your kind invitation to bring greetings this morning on behalf of all Manitobans. And I'd be remiss as well if I didn't recognize Joanne Lewandowski as well, the president of the Manitoba Provincial Council of Ukrainian Canadian Congress. Joanne has been relentless. Thank you so much for everything that you do. All of us recognize that this year's Congress will be like no other in recent memory. Against the backdrop of a deadly, dark European stain of tragedy and suffering and devastation, and above all, of unimaginable loss. This appalling and brutal war of aggression against Ukraine and its courageous people has united Canadians in outrage and common purpose. Nowhere across the country is this more pronounced than right here in our beautiful province of Manitoba. For over 130 years, Ukrainians have come to Manitoba to build a life of hope and opportunity, and their significant contributions are woven into our very fabric of Manitoba's communities and built into our cultural heritage and ongoing traditions. While 1 in 7 Manitobans are of Ukrainian descent, we are all Ukrainians during this terrible, terrible time. Throughout this crisis, Manitoba's support for Ukrainians seeking refuge has been unwavering. We have welcomed them with open arms and open hearts. And as they seek refuge from the ravages of this vile invasion, we will stand with them every step of the way. As Joan and other Manitobans in the room know, our whole of government preparations began immediately. We mobilized to coordinate comprehensive provincial supports and services, and we established a dedicated emergency model, the Ukrainian Refugee Task Force, to undertake detailed operational planning so that we could provide all arriving Ukrainians with safety, with shelter, with meals and accommodations, with health care, other provincial assistance and needs assessments, while easing settlements here with longer-term supports and opportunities. for education, childcare, and English language services as part of their progression to more permanent housing and jobs in the workforce here in Manitoba. Manitoba leads the country in providing a full range of settlement support services. And our Ukrainian Refugee Task Force is the national benchmark recognized across Canada as the gold standard. The experience and results here in Manitoba have been remarkable. To date, and I know the Prime Minister alluded to this earlier, almost 12,000 Ukrainians have presented to our reception and welcoming center here in Manitoba. We have issued almost 8,000 Manitoba health cards. Just today, over 1,800 individuals are currently in over 900 provincially supplied hotel rooms and accommodation spaces. And we have processed over 5,800 reimbursement claims for the cost of immigration medical examinations required to enter Canada. More Ukrainians have sought refuge in Manitoba than any other province in Canada on a per capita basis. About 12% of all Ukrainians coming to Canada are coming here, which is more than 3 times the percentage of the national population. None of this would have been possible without our partnership with the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress and the efforts. And I just want to thank Joan, all of her team, the entire Ukrainian-Canadian community in Manitoba have really been truly inspirational through all of this. They have really helped out every step of the way, and we have been with them every step of the way. Their efforts have been essential, a foundational working relationship with our government, and a critical leading part of the incredible outpouring of support from all Manitobans. From our NGOs and settlement agencies, our municipalities who have really stepped up across this province of ours, our fully engaged business community, other community organizations, and other key partners, everyone has come together. And just as this Congress is about today, we are truly stronger when we work together. Our unwavering support for Ukraine and its courageous people reflects the very finest Manitoba traditions: caring, compassion, and dedication, standing against brutality and oppression, and responding overwhelmingly to help refugees in need. Despite the solemn international background around this particular Congress, I trust you experience all of the warmth and hospitality of Winnipeg and friendly Manitoba, and that you feel the special and enduring bond between Manitoba and Ukraine. May that guide and shape your important work here throughout your program, and I extend my sincere best wishes for this Triennial Congress. For the last 247 days since this brutal war began, Manitobans have been side by side our Ukrainian allies, and I will tell you, we will continue to be by your side every step of the way moving forward. Thank you very much. Slav Ukraine.
Thank you, Premier, for your leadership. Manitoba truly is the gold standard. The roots of the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress are in this city, in the city of Winnipeg, where it all began 82 years ago. We had hoped to be here 2 years ago to mark our 80th anniversary, but someone had other plans for us. Today, it is my pleasure to ask to the podium the mayor-elect of this wonderful city, Scott Gillingham.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be with you. Prime Minister Trudeau, Premier Stefanson, to all of the cabinet ministers and MPs, MLAs, all distinguished guests. It's my privilege today to greet you. And as the Prime Minister said, this will be a memorable moment for me. I haven't officially begun my role yet, but perhaps it's very fitting. I've had the privilege over 3 times to be in Ukraine and enjoy the hospitality, the generosity, the beauty of the Ukrainian people. And since my first trip to Ukraine in 1999, my heart was bonded to the Ukrainian people. And so it's very, very special for me to greet you today in my role as mayor-elect of this wonderful city. We are meeting today on Treaty 1 territory in the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. And I do want to thank the Ukrainian Canadian Congress for inviting me to speak today. Joanne did point something out today, that perhaps the secret to my campaign success was not my platform, but the fact that my campaign manager is a proud Ukrainian. I also want to recognize Mayor Bowman, who is still the mayor of our wonderful city for another few days until I'm sworn in, but who graciously offered me this opportunity to bring remarks on behalf of the city of Winnipeg. I welcome all of you to Winnipeg. It looks like we're going to have a few days of unexpectedly warm weather, so I hope that between your sessions you have the opportunity to get out and enjoy the fresh air and the beauty of our city and all that Winnipeg has to offer. Winnipeg has a long and rich connection to Ukraine. Many of you know that, and if you hadn't known that, you certainly have heard it already by what our speakers have said. The very history of this city has really been founded in many, many ways on the participation and contributions of Ukrainians for several generations. Ukrainian immigrants have played a significant role in building Winnipeg. I will note that Winnipeg's longest-serving mayor, Stephen Juba, was one of the first Ukrainian mayors of a major city in Canada. And today, nearly 100,000 Winnipeggers claim Ukrainian heritage. And of course, we know that that number has increased over the past year as we've taken in those seeking refuge to escape, who are escaping war. And I want to take a moment again to thank Prime Minister Trudeau, thank you and your government, Premier Stefanson, you and your government as well, for your unwavering dedication to the people of Ukraine. Thank you. Across Winnipeg, and indeed throughout Manitoba, communities, faith groups, congregations, and service organizations have opened their arms to help families from Ukraine. That is work that we're all proud of and will continue for as long as is required. Just the other day, I stopped in at the Ukrainian National Federation to drop off a donation, and I was inspired by the work of the staff and the volunteers and all that they're doing to help Ukrainians who are settling here in Winnipeg. I know that that kind of generosity is being offered all across this great province. One other special connection that Winnipeg has with Ukraine is that Winnipeg has a sister city. Lviv is Winnipeg's sister city. And next year we will celebrate the 50th anniversary of that relationship, and it is my sincere hope that we can do that under peaceful circumstances. Let me be clear. I stand with Ukraine. The people of Winnipeg stand with Ukraine. And our city's arms will remain open to embrace and to help the Ukrainian people for as long as it takes. Slava Ukraini.
And now, in closing, I would like to invite a woman for whom my admiration has grown over the last 3 years of working together. She is the Major General of this community. She brings out the best in all of you here who live in Winnipeg. She juggles the impossible. She has managed the settlement effort and this Congress, which sold out 3 times. I would not be surprised if she had built another hotel overnight to accommodate all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of our Provincial Council of the UCC in Manitoba, Joan Lewandowski.
Prime Minister Trudeau, Premier Stefanson, honored guests, I can't believe the Congress is opened. Slava Isusu Christu. Від імені Manitobської провінціальної ради Конгресу українців Канади маю велику честь і шану нині вас привітати на 26-му трирічному Конгресу українців Канади. On behalf of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, Manitoba Provincial Council, it does give me a pleasure to bring you greetings on behalf of our executive, our board of directors, and the myriad of volunteers who have been working for months to make this Congress of Ukrainians in Canada the biggest and the best Congress in decades. We welcome all of you to the birthplace of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress, Winnipeg, in friendly Manitoba. Established and for many years headed by a renowned Ukrainian Canadian spiritual and community leader, the Right Reverend Monsignor Dr. Vasil Kushnir. May his soul rest in peace. Over the next 3 days, you will have an opportunity to hear an impressive slate of speakers, to participate in several interesting and educational workshops, to attend a wonderful cultural and culinary Vyshavanka evening at the Winnipeg Art Gallery, and a gala awards banquet with more than 400 of your closest friends tomorrow evening. We hope that the Congress will truly be a memorable one and will demonstrate the unity, the talent, and the strength of our Ukrainian community in Canada. In addition, we had some relationships with the weatherman, and he promised us double digits while all our delegates are in Manitoba. We originally had planned to put toques in your delegate bags. However, they were delayed in coming, and I'm glad they were. Щиро вас всіх вітаємо і бажаю цікавих і плідних нарад. Слава Україні! Glory to Ukraine! Щиро дякую.
Ladies and gentlemen, we officially declare the 27th Triennial Congress of Ukrainian Canadians to be open.